Hi, welcome to my channel Ruby Net Crochet y Tejido. In this video I'm gonna teach you how to knit this beautiful shawl or wrap. It's very easy to do. I hope you guys like it and give it a try, and here is the list of material you're gonna need to make it. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe and click on the bell, that way you get notification each time I upload a video. Remember, I make my videos in Spanish and English. If you receive a Spanish video and you want to see in English, go to the main page of my YouTube channel that you'll find the English version in there. I also have some playlists. One of them is Ruby Stedman English tutorial, and all the English tutorials are there. And the cardigan that I have on my mannequin is one of my design. I'm gonna leave the link in here just in case you've never seen this one, and it's all done a crochet. To make this shawl, I'm gonna use this Lion brand yarn. They are Ferris wheel, 85 grams, 247 meters, 100% acrylic, medium 4. They recommend a 4.5 millimeter netting needle. I'm gonna use a 6 millimeter, and the color is pink marmalade. I have these two. I have one more. I don't know exactly the amount of yarn that I'm gonna use. That's depend of the size shawl that you want. And like I mentioned, the netting needle 6 millimeter. I like to work shawls with cable needles because as you work they get heavier and heavier. If you work with straight needle, it's a little bit more difficult to make a big shawl, but you can do it, no problem. When this cable get too short to work with, I will change to a longer one, or I will add another piece to this one. I'm gonna use a stitch marker. That way I mark where the increase will go, the side, because it's only increasing on one side of the shawl. And this round counter, that way I can count the round for the design. You're gonna need tapestry needle and scissors. I'm gonna start leaving a tail to cast on 3 stitches plus a tail to secure later and do a nice finish. So I'm gonna do a slip knot, cast on 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, and 3. I'm gonna do a knot to secure the last stitch, otherwise will open up when I start working with it. And the entire shawl is done with net stitch and other motifs, but we're gonna start with nets. It's only in the net stitch, everything that we're gonna do. So you're gonna knit the first stitch and the other 2, and in all the even numbers row we're gonna do increase only in one side. So I'm gonna knit the first stitch, but I'm gonna keep that one in this needle. I'm gonna go to the back strand and I'm gonna knit the increase stitch. I have 2, and I'm gonna knit the other 2, so now I have 4. I'm gonna turn my work around and I'm gonna work on row 3, and I'm gonna knit those 4 stitches. You see, we are only gonna increase in one side of the shawl. I'm not placing the marker yet because I don't have any space to put it on. I'm gonna work on 3 and 4, and I'm gonna do again the increase. So I'm gonna knit the first stitch, I'm gonna go to the back strand, and I'm gonna knit another stitch in the same stitch, so that's the increase, and I'm gonna knit 3 more, and that will be 5 stitches. I'm gonna turn my work. I'm gonna work on row 5, and I'm gonna knit those 5 stitches. I'm gonna turn my work around. I'm gonna work on 6, and I'm gonna place the marker now. It's good to have the marker just in case you have to leave your work. You will know which row you're working. So let me mark 5 here, and then 5. I'm working on 6. So in the same side that you do the increase, you're going to place the marker. So I'm gonna do another increase in this side. I'm gonna do the first net. I'm gonna go to the back strand, and I'm gonna net my second stitch, and the other 4. That will give me 6 stitches. Mark that I done number 6. I'm gonna work on 7. Again, you're gonna net all the stitches. I'm gonna work on 8. And I'm gonna do an increase. And I'm gonna work my other 5 stitches. Like that, you're gonna work until you have 17 row, and number 18 I will meet you here. Remember, all the increases is only one side of your piece. This side will be straight, this side will be the point. So if you don't want to do any design or anything and you just want to net, you continue netting and increasing, netting, increasing until you use all the yarn that you want and you have the desired size for your shawl, because we're gonna do this shawl just in one big piece, no decrease or anything. So for mine, that I'm gonna do some stitches, I'm gonna work until 17, and I will meet you here when it's time to work in row 18. If sometimes I say round, is because I've been doing so many hats and cowl in the round that sometimes instead of saying row, I say round. I have 17 rows. I'm gonna work on 18. I have 12 stitches in here. So I'm gonna do the increase in the first stitch. Always you do the increase and the side of the even number. So I'm gonna do my increase again in the first stitch. And remember, if you don't want to do this, you just continue netting and doing the increase and netting, netting, netting. So you did the increase, so when you're going to bring yarn to the front for a yarn over, and the next 2 you're going to net them together. So when you net these 2 together, you create a yarn over on top of your needle. Yarn to the front, 2 together. You're doing 2 together, but you're not decreasing because the yarn over is that stitch that you're doing together with the other one. So yarn to the front, 2 together, yarn to the front, 2 together, yarn to the front. When I say yarn to the front, it's for the yarn over, and 2 together. You have 1 more stitch and you will net that one. You don't want to do a yarn over before that one, because then you'll be increasing another stitch in here. So if I count now, I will have 13 stitches. I started with 12, now I have 13 because I did the increase in the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 stitches. I'm gonna turn my work around and I'm gonna work in round or row 19, and it's all net stitch. You're gonna net every single stitch. I finished row 19. I'm gonna work on 20, and 20 again you have the increase, and you don't gonna work this design, no, in all the rows. I continue saying round. You're gonna do the design. So now you're gonna work what you did in these rows here. So the increase, and you're gonna net all your stitches. So now your increase, you will have 14 stitches. You go back with a net, and then again you will work in 22, and then you do the increase like that. I'm gonna work until row 27. After I finish 27, for 28 I will meet you here. Remember, you're gonna just net the stitches and increase in the side of the marker in the even number. Sorry, I calculated the wrong amount of stitches on the needle. I only have 17. I have to have 18. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna work in row 28 and come back with 29. I will meet you here on 30. So like this, you see, you have to have even number for the design. So you don't have to do this separation as big. You can do this less, so you can play around. For example, the separation between these two like this, you do another one like with the same amount of row separation, but then the next one will do it a little bit closer. You can play around with the separation in between the motifs. As long as you have even number on your needle, you can do this in any row. I'm gonna work in this row. So I'm gonna work in 30. So you're gonna do the increase and the first stitch, and this is exactly the same as 18. You do the increase, yarn to the front for a yarn over, and then you're gonna knit these two together. Yarn to the front for the yarn over and knit these two together. Okay. When you do the two together, you create the yarn over on top of your needle. Yarn to the front for the yarn over and two together. Like that, you're gonna continue exactly the same as we did in 18. Only with the yarn to the front and two together. I finished row 31. Now I'm gonna work until row 35, and 36 I will do again the design. So you'll see it will be a little bit closer from this one. You can do it closer or further as you like. So you're gonna work the design, and you're gonna continue working this, increasing on one side and straight on the other one. as long as big as you like. You can use 1 ball of yarn, 2 ball of yarn, 3 ball of yarn, depending on the size that you want your shawl, but it will be in that angle, increasing one side, straighten the other, and you don't want to do any decrease. So the design like this, like I mentioned, you can do as long as you have even number stitches. You can do as close of each other or as further of each other as you like, or you can just net all the rows and just increase in one side and have just a garter stitch shawl. So I'm gonna work on mine for a few more rows, and I will show you the progress as I work. Remember, just increasing in one side, always increasing the side that you have the marker, and when it's time to do the design is the increase in the first stitch and then yarn over, two together, yarn over, two together, yarn over, and two together. And when you do the yarn over and two together, and this one you'll have one stitch and then you just knit the last one. You don't do a yarn over before the last stitch, you just do two together and knit the last one. I finished row 37 and I decided I don't want to count anymore the rows. I'm gonna eyeball the design, and I'm gonna do the design in whatever row I want, as long as you have even number, and you're gonna do in that round an increase, or that row an increase. You can do as many of these eyelet design as you want. So I may do half of the shawl with eyelet and the other half without it. I will decide as I work. So I'm gonna continue working, just working, net and doing the eyelet until I have the desired size. But I will let you know as I work if I'm gonna do a part without the design. So that's how it looks so far, and it looks really nice with this one with the distance and this one closer. I can do another one with distance or one closer. I don't know yet how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna continue working like this. As long as you have even number to do the eyelet, it's no problem. But remember, you only have to increase in the same side that you have. So I went ahead and I did 3 like this, and look how nice that look. I did this one when I had 22 stitches on the needle, and then I did the increase in that row. I did this one when I have 24, and this one when I had 26. So the next one I will do a little more space in between, like this, bit more or less, little more probably than less, and then the other one from here to this one and here maybe, and so on. But it look really, really nice with those 3 together. So you can change it around as you like. If you like, you can do the whole thing like this in one side and the other all a solid part. But I'm gonna do it, you know, that way I don't have to be counting every stitches. I can watch TV and continue working. I wanted to give you a trick that I'm doing. Since I have to have even number each time I do the little eyelet stitch, what I did, I counted 30 stitches here and I pressed the marker. So to make sure that I have even number, I just have to count this little amount of stitch, because after you work and you have more stitches on the needles, you will have to count a lot of stitches. So it's easier this way. Now I only have to make sure that this part in here is even, because these ones are even. So as I work, I will add more marker, making sure that I have even numbers in between the markers, and only in the space from the tip of the needle to that last marker I have to be even number. So it will be very easy to keep track in order to do these eyelets. And look how nice that looks so far. This is what I'm done. Here I have one, here I have another one. You don't see that one as much, I don't know why, but like that. So now I'm in this side. I had to come back to this end to do another eyelet. So this is what I've done so far with 1 ball of yarn. See, this is the straight part, and this is the one with the increases, and it look like this. And you see the design of the eyelets, I done it all over the place. I don't done them as, you know, as a pattern. So you see these ones are more separate, these are more together. You see the separation here, these three together, this one with a big separation, and then now I'm doing three together, and so on. And this is when I feel like doing one, I count to see if I have even number, and then I do it. So now I'm going to change to the new ball of yarn because this is what I have left over, and I recommend to change ball of yarn if you have to change to another ball of yarn in the border, whichever. I'm doing it in the lower part. So I'm gonna grab the other and add the new ball of yarn from the inside. Gonna leave this one here, and later I will lose those tails. And with the new one, I'm gonna do the increase because I'm in the border with the increase. And now yarn over, two together, yarn over, two together, and like that I will continue working in my shawl until I have the desired length. I don't know if I'm gonna use half of the ball or the entire ball. Maybe use the entire thing, that way it's nice and big and comfy and really warm. So I'll meet you here when I have the length that it's time to cast off. I have the desired length. Now I'm gonna cast off or bind off my stitches. This is what I have left in the second ball of yarn. I don't gonna use the entire thing because it will be too bulky for me. Remember, I don't like to have too much bulk around my neck, but it's big enough. So I'm gonna knit these two together, and this is the part that is the straight part, and the other side at the end is the one that I was doing the increases. So from this side I'm gonna knit these two together, and this stitch I'm gonna place it back into my needle, and I'm gonna knit these two together, and that stitch place it back to the needle, and knit these two together, pass the stitch back, knit these two together, pass the stitch. Like that I'm gonna continue until I cast off all the stitches, and I will have only one stitch in the needle. Now I have to lose this tail, this one where I changed to the new ball of yarn, and this is the piece that I did with the new ball of yarn, and then the tail at the beginning, and then I will show you the end result. This is leftover from the second ball of yarn. I have 22 grams left. I don't use the whole thing because I don't want it to be too bulky. So I started here with the 3 stitches, and randomly I did the sign Nothing was planned, just wherever I felt like doing one of these, and I have even numbers, I did it. So like that. Here is where I bind off or cast off my stitches. This was all the increases that I did. Now I'm gonna put it on my mannequin and I will show you the end result. Well, this is the end result and I absolutely love this piece. It's very easy to do. The design looks gorgeous, the color, and it's very easy to do. I absolutely love it, and it's not too bulky. Well, I hope you guys like it. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. And if you make this beautiful piece and you want to send me some pictures, you can do it through my Facebook page, Ruby Net Crochet Tejido, or my Instagram, Ruby Net Crochet Tejido. Please share my video with friends and family. That way you help me grow here on YouTube. I wish you have a beautiful day. Bye.